Welcome to First Year Foundations. Let's talk a little bit about habits. This, you might notice, is the sort of self-reflection phase of the course, and you have done daily journals, you have thought about your own leadership and the leadership that you've seen, thought about a number of other things, and next week you'll be thinking about your career. This week I want you to think a little bit about habits. So we sort of talked about that with time management and other things, but there are two areas I want to focus on this week. There are your conscious habits, and for that I want you to think about what you wrote down that you were doing in your daily journals, but also I want you to think about what you have done over the year, maybe over the last few years. These are mostly conscious things, right? You have chosen to go to this school, you've chosen to take this class, and you've chosen to participate or not participate in certain things. Cool, that's all cool. On the other hand, you do a lot of things that are habitual, but that are under the level of consciousness, so they're unconscious, and that is a little bit harder to understand of yourself, even if you are good at self-reflecting. But again, the more you practice this, the more it becomes a skill that you have developed and that you are quite good at, hopefully. By the end of your college experience, I really hope that you are a very self-reflective person, meaning that you can think about not just what's out there, but also how you're interpreting it. That's probably the most important general skill that I hope everyone develops in college. So that said, I have a few little tests that are related to unconscious habits, or you can call them various dispositions. There's a French philosopher I like, Pierre Bourdieu, who calls them habitus, and that's basically under the level of consciousness. So you're not thinking about this stuff. You could call it ideology, or you could call it bias. All of these things are different ways of thinking about it, but I think if you want to be a better person, a socially conscious person, someone who does things not just because that's the first thing that pops into your head, but because you have thought about how you think about stuff, questioning your habits is a really important and useful tool. I think you will actually get a lot out of this exercise, especially if you do it in an honest way. I'm not judging here. If you have some bad habits or some good habits, great. I won't share any of this with people. And so this is for you to develop a better self-reflective mentality in which you can question yourself and others, but primarily you're going to get better and better at thinking about these things. And so I've put some tests up here that I'd like you to take. I'd like you to share whatever information you feel comfortable doing, and I'd like you to think about your own personal experiences and how that might tie into the habits that some of which you choose and some of which seem to choose you, and that's a product of probably where you're from, the family you have, the affiliations you have with institutions, religious, scholarly, business, whatever. And so I'm not saying change anything necessarily, but think more critically about these habits, and maybe there are some that you want to change, or maybe there's some that you want to grow. You know, you've already started and you want to get better and better at it. Anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. Again, hopefully this is a valuable exercise for you. Doesn't matter to me if you rely on this because it doesn't affect me, but you can grow significantly as a person if you really take the time to think about this stuff. So I hope you do. Until next time, cheers.